Hello and welcome to DDLC 101. Today we'll be trying to get 100% on DDLC plus. So I reset the game completely to show you what to do if you ever decide to collect 100%. But this is only for these in-game achievements. I'm not including the extra Steam achievements. So there's quite a lot you have to do to get 100%. So first things first, the good news is these images are already they already come with these images are already preloaded, but the rest of the images, unfortunately, you have to get them through playing the game. Now, some of them, like let's say the CGs and the backgrounds, you're going to naturally get them as you play through the game, but others are a bit more complicated because you may have to do extra special things. So firstly, we'll start with the original game. The good news is these are divided between acts, and unfortunately we'll also have to reset the game a couple of times because certain things that you want to get will be randomized, but we'll get to that later. To make things quick, we're just going to be skipping a lot of dialogue. So the first achievement is to finish the poem game in 20 seconds or less. Also save, because we're going to be coming back and forth. Literally just click any random word. I assume that was 20 seconds or less. I don't have a counter on me. Okay, so this is another achievement. Be sure to click Sayori. Be sure to click Help Me Sayori during this fight. So another achievement that we have to worry about, unfortunately, is writing poems for a different girl each time. So let's say we wrote Sayori's poem first. Now we would want to write, say, Natsuki's poem. And Natsuki's poem words are anything cute or anything to do with manga. Additionally, there is another achievement for picking this word, Doki Doki, so be sure to pick that one. This is also something to keep mind of as well. Another word that you need to pick for the poems is kawaii. So another achievement, tell Sayori that you'd still walk home with her. And now we are going to write poems for Yuri. Also, this other word, one other achievement is that the word horror must be picked during the poem game, so be sure to pick it. Okay, so this is also another achievement. The first time just before the weekend, be sure to pick Sayori and Monika before settling on either Natsuki or Yuri. So, okay, just before that scene, kindly load the game, and for the poem game again, try to get a perfect poem for Natsuki, Yuri, and Sayori. By perfect poem, we mean write all 20 words like for Sayori, and then all 20 words for Natsuki, and then all 20 words for Yuri. This is why we made extra saves. This can be a little annoying because sometimes, like, you might have a streak where maybe for the first 5 words it's all Yuri, but then the 6th page there are no Yuri words, so you consistently have to restart. Okay, so after writing a perfect poem, you now need to go to the sayonara scene, and apparently just after Sayori's incident, like just before the game resets, whilst MC is having his crisis, you're supposed to try and load a save file. So let's see. Act 2 can be a little annoying because some of the features there are randomized, so you're going to have to replay multiple times, but let's just go through the first run. So one of the first things we want to do in Act 2, this can be very annoying, but we want to get the ghost menu. Luckily, there's an easy way to do this. So in order to get the ghost menu, you need to exit DDLC and then come back in. So you see what I did? You have to quickly exit, then come back in order to get the ghost menu to pop up. This can take a while, but it's possible. Just to be safe though, make sure the game has already been glitched. Yes, this right here. This is the ghost menu. It can be really difficult and annoying to get, but here it is. Some might be lucky to get it early, some might be unlucky to get it late, but eventually this happens. So we need to get Natsuki's play with me scene, and in order to do this, we need to I think the first 2 poems of Act 2 must be for her. Oh yeah, another achievement is to pick a glitched word during the poem game for Act 2. Oh, no, that's interesting. And there it is. Ooh. And that's another achievement added to the list. Also, so another achievement for Act 2. This one can be really annoying to get, but when you get to Yuri's scene when she, stabs herself, be sure to let the scene play out normally. Do not skip the scene. Unfortunately, it's not very long, but it can be tedious. So make sure that your your text speed in auto forward is high, and just press auto or just click if you have the time. Okay, after finishing the Yuri scene without skipping anything, we enter Act 3. So in Act 3, there are a few things we need to do. For one, at least on the first try, we need to try and skip. There's an achievement for trying to skip Monika's dialogue. This can be really annoying because the problem with Act 3 is Monika talks at her own pace, so you're kind of stuck. You can't really do anything to change it, to speed it up or slow it down. That's really unfortunate. And another thing we need to do is listen to at least 15 of Monika's monologues. That one can be very tedious. But at least after the first two things, everything else will be 1,000 times easier. But we'll get back to it. So unfortunately, you're stuck. I guess just leave the computer to run and do something else. Oh, sorry, just a little tip, but when Monika starts talking the first time, the skip button is unavailable. But now that the skip button is available, you can press it and then show, you can get the achievement. So now that we've listened to 15 of Monika's monologues, we can do something very interesting. And that is we can finally delete Monika's character file. One of the achievements at least for Act 4, 2 achievements you need to get is to complete the good ending and to get the bad ending. Right now this is the bad ending because I did not get all the gross CGs. So I'm going to have to replay the game to get the good ending. So after finishing the game, no matter what you do, if you go back, it will just crash. So you have to click the reset option. This is available after you delete Monica the first time. So you're going to use this to delete the original game and restart as many times as you need to get the extra achievements. So now that we've reset everything, we can play and try to get the good is to get every single girl's poem. So good luck with that one. Okay, so there's one achievement that we need, which is to delete Monica before playing a new game. And also another achievement is to delete Monica's character file before she starts her monologues in Act 3. But you have to be careful, because if you delete Monica's character file early, you can mess up the Act 3 deletion. So yeah, in order to get this achievement, you need to delete Monica in Act 3 just before her monologues start. Just be warned, you can only delete Monica in Act 3 once her CG pops up and not before. And another achievement we need to get is to read all of the side stories. This will ensure we get any extra CGs and any extra poems. Okay, so after finishing all of the side stories, we need to check these files: attributions, and what is this? And poem words text. So these are basically just the specific words for each girl. By checking it out, we also add on to what we need to the achievements. And of course, as we accomplish something, we also unlock these letters. These ones we can get easily. It's just Act 2 is a little bit annoying in how it plays out because these poems are randomized, so you have to restart and redo Act 2. But other than that, we are almost done. Let me just quick. Also, we've unlocked, I think, pretty much every song. There's something important coming up, but we'll do that later. So right now we're at 94%, as you can see. We are almost done, like so close. Okay guys, when you get this poem, be sure to stare at the dot. I think it takes about 10 seconds for it to appear. Once the I love you segment appears, you've got the poem in the as an achievement. Otherwise, if you don't stare at the dot and quickly click away, the poem will not count. The good news is, well, actually the bad news is, like, these poems, they're randomly generated. Every time you reset the game, you get 3 random poems. And unfortunately, sometimes you even get repeating poems. Like, you can literally get the same 2 special poems. Luckily, the good news is if you miss, let's say, the dot in Act 2, you can quickly press New Game and then get the second, and you can regain the poem. Like, even though the poems are randomized, every time you reset the game, the poems stay the same as long as you are in that Act 2. So just be aware of this, because this poem can be a bit of a nightmare. And unfortunately, because they're randomized, you're going to have to reset the game a lot. So good luck on this one, because there's literally, it's luck. You just have to hope and pray you get all the poems that you need. I finally managed to get every single one of these images. So just a quick recap. This one is finishing the side stories. Okay, so this is from finishing the poem game in 20 seconds or less. Select the word kawaii in the poem game. Sayori's first poems, second, as well the base poems, and as well as the poems from the side stories. And also you get a reward. You get an extra poem after you've collected all the main poems. Then the good ending message and the bad ending message. The CGs, you just write poems and play the game as normal. The images from the side stories as well. And these special poems, they are such a pain, randomized, but you just have to keep resetting the game, and eventually you get them. The backgrounds, you get them naturally. And then these ones are the really difficult. Some of these are annoying, but they're easy if you know what to do. You select the word Doki Doki, pick Sayori and Monica before picking Yuri and Natsuki for the weekend, deleting Monica's character file before starting a new game, writing a poem for Natsuki, a perfect Natsuki poem, getting all 3 of Natsuki's poems, a perfect Sayori poem, all 3 of Sayori's poems, this one is attempting to load a save file after Sayori's death. This one involves writing a perfect poem for Yuri, getting all 3 of Yuri's poems, deleting Monica's character file before she begins her monologues. This one that you get after checking the emails, the .txt files, I believe. This one is after you get the good ending. Trying to skip Monica's monologues. Calling Sayori for help during the argument. Walking home with Sayori. Then Natsuki's play with me, and selecting a corrupt word during the Act 2 poem game, writing a different poem for each character, each chapter, for a different character each chapter, sorry. And then listening to 15 of Monica's monologues. This one you get after you get all those special poems. This one is not skipping Yuri's death scene. Finishing all the side stories, selecting the word art in a poem minigame, and deleting Monica the second time. So as you can see, we are almost done. Okay, so another thing we want to do is to review the files. So one file we need to, most of these are in internal. These can be a little bit annoying to get, but they're not bad. For example, the first insecure directory.txt. The other ones are in backup, meeting notes, and test.txt. There's also tower keys, which is in system. Where is it? Tower key, which is here. Now, after this, there's some interesting files that we need to take, but we can only get them after, what can I say? After we change the time. So, luckily it doesn't matter whether it's PM or AM, but just make sure you change your laptop's time. Make sure it's maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes before, because if the time gets passed, the file is automatically unavailable. So I'll quickly walk you through the first one. The rest you can do yourself. Follow the image that you see, or link in the description. Okay, so the first file is internal 0, 3, and then 0, but we have to wait for just a few seconds. Yes, here we are. Yeah, see, this is where we are. So, like I said, follow the image and the times, and you'll be able to get all these files. These will contribute to your 100%ing the game. unfortunately. That leaves us at 98%. But it's very easy to get that last 2%. So what you're supposed to do is go to the music option, and you're supposed to play the song Candy Hearts with an S. Play the entire song, do not skip from beginning to end. Then after you finish playing it, another option of the song will come, which is Candy Hearts but with a Z. Then you're supposed to play that again, and once you've played both of them from beginning to end, you get 100%. I might have to mute just because of copyright, but let me show you. Okay, so yeah, this can. I forgot to mention the Candy Hearts thing can be a bit tricky because for me, I would play the first Candy Hearts, and then uh, the second Candy Hearts with a Z would not necessarily appear, but I would have to play the original theme here, but the timestamp will be different. So I don't know why, but you have to play the first song in full and then pause, like stop the music, then exit from the music and then come back and then play Candy Hearts with an S again. Hopefully the timestamp will be different, or Z will appear and then play Z in full. After you play it, you play both of them. Usually there's supposed to be this final message from Paula Minor. It's basically a message of how we need to move on. We've deleted and restarted this so many times. Let's, we should finish this and move on with our lives. And hopefully, after you've done all of that, you have finally 100%ed DDLC plus. It's not very difficult if you know what to do, but it's just really annoying because you need to replay the original game a couple of times. Some things are randomized and you have to redo it, but it's possible. So anyway, thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for watching my content. If you like, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you all next time.